At 1:30, we got Georgia Tech at number 8 Notre Dame and on NBC. And I don't know what to think of Georgia Tech. They started off the year they started off the year really disappointing with their loss to Northern Illinois. But then they looked good all the way up until Clemson. Then they lost to Clemson, and they still looked good. And they were just still hanging in that relevancy where you could see them making a bowl game. They look good enough. And then they go to 3-7. And you're like, oh, shit, guys. You can't make a bowl game now, you dummies. In my opinion, this is a good enough football team for a bowl game. But you don't have your players. Obviously, Jeff Sims didn't play last week. Jordan Yates went 17-28, threw for 126 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Jahmyr Gibbs had 19 carries for 96 yards and a touchdown, although also led in receiving 5 catches for 29 yards. Notre Dame last week is, I kind of expected them to dominate against Virginia, especially after I heard Brennan Armstrong couldn't play. Jack Cohn ended up going 15-20, threw for 132 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Kyron Williams had 14 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown, and Michael Mayer had 7 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. Notre Dame has obviously dominated Georgia Tech. 29-6 all-time against Georgia Tech. The last 2 games have gone Notre Dame's way, but the last Georgia Tech victory was in 2007 in South Bend. So, it's been a while since Georgia Tech has beat them. Now, to be fair, they've only played 2 games since then. They don't play all that often. Again, this is just a rotation. Notre Dame just plays a whole bunch of ACC teams, really. That's only their schedule. And this time they draw out Georgia Tech. And it's kind of interesting here for the Yellow Jackets. This would be huge, right? This would be one of the bigger upsets of the week if they were able to pull it off. Again, every single team outside of Georgia is playing for playoff. Like, if you lose, you are out of the playoff picture. That is how insane the season has been. Normally, we're not at that spot. We still have 12 teams remaining, which is a lot of teams. But every single other team, we only have 3 undefeated, really, college football teams, if we're talking about FBS level. And those 3 teams are Georgia, obviously, and then Cincinnati and UTSA. Not something that anyone would have guessed at this point of the year. Maybe Cincinnati and Georgia, but no one would have guessed UTSA. I think this is just obviously Notre Dame's to win. Obviously, I hope Georgia Tech pulls off the huge upset, because that would be an amazing, just like, to my season. I would also love them to see Georgia Tech upset Georgia to end the year. That would be pretty awesome. My friend Yellow Jacket has some money riding that game. He would get $50 if he gets it. So I hope for YJ's sake that he ends up getting that money. But you just got to pick Notre Dame here. It's just like the obvious pick. Jack Cohn's playing decently well. He's not turning the ball over, and that's what Georgia Tech really needs to happen to pull off this upset. Give me Georgia Tech to win this one.